Let me tell you the real reason you're not making money in the markets. Gamification. You see, I've been in the markets for 8 years now. 5 of them years, full-time trading. I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen the people that have failed. I've seen the people that have made it into success. There's very much common themes between the winners and the losers over the longer term. Gamification isn't really talked about within the industry, and if it is talked about, it's very brief. So I want to go into a little bit more detail and give you a different perspective on things you can actually improve your mindset, your trading, and overall your success rate. So let's dig into it. So trading feels like a game in the sense that imagine you have a prop firm challenge. You see thousands of pounds, thousands of dollars running on trades, whether it's a winner, a loss, a break even. That distribution of wins, losses, break evens spikes your dopamine, right? It feels like a game. When you're in it, it doesn't essentially mean anything because a prop firm challenge doesn't equate to profit straight away. Unless you get the funded account and then you have the profit split, it doesn't equate to anything. So the reason I'm saying that is because people don't end up withdrawing profits, which gamifies trading once and foremost. So it's a case that number one, you need to get into the habit of withdrawing profits. As soon as you start making into consistent profitability, I would highly recommend withdrawing some profits. Even if it's just a small amount, go and reward yourself. Whether it's a trip with your girlfriend, partner, family, friends, or whether it's just a meal out, or it could be something as simple as like paying for an ice cream. Withdraw some of the profits and get used to tasting the success that you're starting to build. The reason you do this is to stop getting into the habit of gamifying trading. You see, when you are just looking into a screen, see trader, MT4, MT5, it so often feels like a game, right? And it's so easy just as much to win the trades to then lose all the profits because you've gamified it. Seeing numbers on a screen doesn't mean anything. It only means something once it's in your bank account and you can use it in terms of lifestyle, improving your life, savings, investments. That's when it really makes a difference. But without that, you don't have any meaning behind it. So it's important to add context behind it and a bit more weight behind the money that you earn. Now, let me bring your attention to a study that was done on rats. This was done in 1997, okay? And it was based around the dopamine receptors in the brain. So the experiment at the time was done on rats in regards that every time the rat pushed a lever, it would get a reward. So every time the rat pushed a lever, it got into the habit of expecting that reward. So that reward was juice. However, they changed the experiment. They added a little bit more detail and changed it to monitor the dopamine receptors in the brain. So what they did is they made it into a randomized distribution of juice, the reward. Okay, so what they did is every time the rat pushed a lever, it wouldn't get the juice. It would only be certain times. So what that done in the brain is that the rat is then expecting the reward, and every time it doesn't get it, it's enhancing that dopamine receptor in the brain. It's enhancing that feeling of, if I just keep going, I'm gonna get that reward. And you see the same things on social media. You see it with social media likes, you see it on dating profiles. Every time you swipe on a dating profile, you see it in slot machines and casinos. That one win, okay, could cause you into a serious emotional cycle in regards of, if you win 1 time out of 10, you can get addicted. The reason being, as long as there's that little bit of sliver of hope there, you can get into that cycle because it's the same thing. If you take, we'll relate this back to trading, you take 9 losing trades, your strike rate, 10%. Doesn't feel good. However, if you're oblivious to the fact that you're not doing things right, you're not treating trading like a business, you're not on top of your numbers, you're not on top of what's going well, what's not going well, you're not journaling, you're not doing all these things, and you're just hoping for trades to come in because you've had a bit of success in the past or a bit of consistency in the past, it's not the right way to do it, okay? Believe me. So what you could have is a 10% strike rate or a 10% win rate, so 1 trade out of 10 is a winning trade. But the thing is, you could lose 6, 7, 8, 9 times out of 10. As long as there's that little sliver of hope there, you're going to keep playing. Why? Because it feels like a game. You're gamifying trading, okay? So this is when your emotional side of your brain, your limbic system, is very much active. This is when your dopamine is unbelievably high, because as you take those losses, there's a part of you, we've all been there, I've been there myself, where there's a line in the sand, right? You take a small amount of loss. It could be 3, 4, 5 losing trades in a row. Now, you have to tie this back to data. If your max losing trades in a row is 5 and you start getting up to that period, then you monitor your behavior. You monitor, am I doing things correctly? After a certain amount of time, you have to go back to the plan and say, out of those 5 losing trades, how many have actually stuck to the plan? Have I gone off? Have I gone on tilt? Have I done something completely different? Or have I actually stuck to the plan and it's just a random sequence of losing trades that I've just come into, which is natural. Happens for me, happens for every single successful trader. So that can happen. However, if you then go past that with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 losses, then you have to start questioning, okay, am I sticking to the plan or is this completely off cycle? Am I going on tilt? And then I have to change things. So you need to understand where you're at, but if you don't, you can get into that cycle of hoping the next winning trade is going to come along, and it's very addictive. How many times have you been on tilt before where you've taken, you could have taken 3, 4 winning trades in a row, you feel good, you're on top of the world, you make one small error and it sends you into a cycle of tilt. 10 losing trades can come like that. You're like, what's happened? It feels like a blur. It feels like it all happened in the space of 15 minutes. You can give back profits to the market. You can blow your account. You can give back your funded account. You can start to blow all these challenges. It can happen in an instant if you're not on top of your game. And that's a dangerous game to get into. So my recommendation for you would be, as I started off, don't gamify trading. Now, it's very easy for me to say that without applicable steps. So the next time you start to get into a taste of consistent profitability, get to that stage first, don't rush it. But what I want you to do is actually taste the success a little bit. Sit in it, withdraw some profits from ideally you've got a personal account, or even if it's funded, I would recommend even a personal account, even if it's just a small amount, because you get into the cycle of feeling like a trader. This is important. So if you start to withdraw some of the profits, could be a very small amount, doesn't matter. Go and buy an ice cream, go and buy a meal, go and buy something that feels like, oh wow, like I've actually spent this based on the profits that I made in the market. That is a key fundamental mental lesson. And to be honest, I wish I'd have done that earlier. So I'm giving that advice back to you in the hopes that you take it seriously, you do the same, and you feel the success before you are successful. Does that make sense? So that's what I want you to do. The second thing is you need to make sure you're tracking your numbers. Without knowing where you are, you're never going to get to where you want to be. Okay, so it's the same in business, it's the same in trading. You need to be tracking the numbers, you need to know the score. So you should be on top of your monthly expenses, your monthly income. Track it yourself manually through a software like Trezella, Notion, whatever it may be. Go and track the numbers. You should know where you are and what monetary amounts you are at and what percentage gain you're at or loss at the end of every single month. This is going to help you stay on track because you know where you stand. And if you are a losing trader, don't be concerned too much about, short-term losses or losing patches. It's just a part of the game. We have to go through it. At the end of the day, if you're a losing trader, you start to learn from what's going well. Even if it's in regards of a few trades here and there, you pick up on habits that you've done well, that have led to success, and you disregard habits that have led to failure. So you just learn, but without tracking that, you're never going to get any better. So you need to track the numbers and you need to do it very well. You need to stay diligent with it. If there's one habit that's been very diligent within my journey, it's been journaling. Okay, as much as I've backtested, as much as I've done all these different habits, journaling has stayed fully intact. Okay, so it's a simple habit, but most people don't have the discipline to stick to it. If you can set yourself apart from those people, track the numbers, know the score, you will have an edge, I promise you, in time. So hopefully that helps. A few little simple tips there. It's not easy to stick to, but over time, you create this momentum cycle. Don't worry about, I have to stick to this habit for a year, 2 years. Don't focus on that. I don't focus on that. Focus on small, consistent actions, okay? Focus on, I'll do this for 30 days. Then I'm going to continue into 60 days, 90 days, and just, you create this momentum cycle. It's a point within the first year or two for me of my trading where I'd done journaling every single weekend. I knew the drill. As soon as it comes Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon, whenever I get time to do it, I know the score. I know what I'm doing. Same with weekly prep, same with the tracking live trades, whatever you do, it's the same thing. So overall, hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't gamify trading and make sure you track the numbers. Hopefully that helps. Enjoy the rest of your trading week, and I'll speak to you soon.